But so how did you go from acting to getting involved in the U.S. campaign for Burma? How did that come about?
Well, it's something that's been probably lying dormant in me for most of my life. I have not really been an activist. My father was an activist. My father was such an activist that the FBI came calling. That's how.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, back in the 50s.
So the Koenigs aren't playing.
Well, my father wasn't. I sort of just laid back and let life. I just kind of floated along. I marched in civil rights protests, and I was against the war in Vietnam, but I don't think I ever was passionately involved. And I feel that that's part of the Koenig legacy that I've sort of let down. And my son is extremely active and has been, since he was in his teens. So I certainly respect and commend that. I thought that just the time was right. Somebody, a third party who, both Jeremy Woodrum, who runs the U.S. campaign for Burma, and my family knows, they contacted us. She contacted us, and we had a meeting. And it just seemed, as I say, the appropriate moment in my life at this juncture to, and without trying to sound maudlin or very sentimental about it, but to give back a little, I've really been cashing in on my association with Star Trek, and here was an opportunity to use that cachet to perhaps in some very, very modest way make the world a little bit more aware of the tragedy that is Burma.
No, I think that makes perfect sense, because honestly, I don't know if we would have had you on the show if I wasn't obsessed with Star Trek, right? If you were, Walter Jones, as opposed to, although Walter Jones is also famous, but as opposed to Walter Koenig. And I think you do contribute back a little bit, and even if it's a little bit, it makes all the difference in the world. And here we are talking about Burma. So I want to bring Andrew into the conversation here. Andrew is your son. Andrew, tell us a little bit about the U.S. campaign for Burma and what's happening in Burma and why people should care.
Okay, well, he might actually be better with the facts, but the truth is Burma has been under a military regime for a number of decades. In '88, there's a big crackdown, massacre, and as an appeasement, the military government said, okay, we'll let you have elections. They, in 1990, elected over 80% of the populace elected Aung San Suu Kyi, who became the president, the democratically elected president of Burma. She's been under house arrest for 17 years and never allowed to take over as president of the country. So while Darfur is getting attention and various other places, and thank God for that, Burma, which has now been renamed Myanmar, has been suffering all this time. There's been a systematic elimination of the ethnic groups, especially the Karen, and that's a lot of people who we dealt with on the border with Thailand. And we met with a lot of them in Thailand, in the refugee camps. And so there was crackdown on political people in Burma who, I guess the equivalent would be like the difference between Mexico City and Chiapas. You have your city folk, and then you have the people that, the more ethnic people that live out in the country. Well, so there's the crackdown on the political stuff, but there's also the burning down of villages and the killing of people in the more rural areas.
So, Andrew or Walter, either one of you, whoever wants to answer this, why are they doing that? I mean, there's always, some ethnicity being wiped away, whether it's Rwanda or the Sudan, or in this case, Burma or Myanmar. What is the government's motive for attacking these different groups?
Well, the government, is a military dictatorship, and they took over at a point when there was a lot of restlessness in Burma, and there was chaos, and they have come to the place where they don't want to relinquish control under any circumstances. When they had the elections in 1990, it's hard to know what they were thinking, because when the country voted Democratic, the NLD, National League of Democracy, I think it was called, they were taken by surprise, and of course they didn't let that that party take over control of the government. It was there, in name only. They simply want to control the country, control the economics of the country, make sure that they stay in power. And as Andrew says, they have systematically gone about destroying the infrastructure of all these different ethnic states within Burma to make sure that happens.
So what is the U.S. campaign for Burma trying to do? What are they trying to accomplish? And I want to let everybody know the website, uscampaignforburma.org. What's the effort there?
Well, I think it's initially, anyway, to make the world more conscious of what's transpiring. The fact that this is a catastrophic situation. The population of Burma is about 52 million. 75% of the people in Burma live below the poverty line. The abduction of children for recruitment into the army goes as young as 7. At 7, they are forced to join military academies. At 11, they're given guns. Rape is another tacitly approved means of operation, both to provide entertainment for the troops and as a means of ethnic cleansing. The more babies that are born that are half Burman and less full-blooded Karen or any of the other states, the more they are whittling away at the infrastructure of these states, of emasculating their cultures and making sure that they can't come together to form any kind of protest against the government.
So, Andrew, you want to jump in?
There's also the aspect of resources.
Mm-hmm.
I first got involved in or became aware of Burma about 10 years ago when Unocal was building a pipeline using forced labor at the ends of the military's guns. So that's part of the reason that this ethnic cleansing is also going on, is because they're taking over resources. I think teak is part of it, but I think it's mainly oil or gas. So it's the same story you see all over the world.
I actually know a little bit about it as well. I've got a friend of mine from the Army and from college who keeps trying to get me. He goes every year and he smuggles medicine across the border from Thailand to Karen. And he had told me that they had the people literally chained to the pipeline, like all the way to China. Like you would die of starvation, chained to the pipeline, but also you're chained to it to prevent people from your own ethnic group and blowing up the pipeline. I also know we buy a lot of stuff in this country that's actually made and manufactured in Burma.
Yeah, that's absolutely outrageous.
Well, now, at least officially.
I know officially, we're not officially buying it.
Right.
But a lot of the products from cheap sunglasses to other things are made in Burma, and they're shipped out through Chinese companies.
Because between the Clinton Congress, which prohibited the further investment of American companies in Burma, and if you'll forgive me, I sort of gag when I say this, and the Bush Congress, which has not allowed product into this country. They put an embargo on product from Burma into this country. We have been doing a relatively good job of leaving our protests some balls.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that's a good note to end it on. And everybody check out uscampaignforburma.org for more information on how you can get involved and help out, too. Walter Koenig and Andrew Koenig, thank you so much for joining us on the Young Turks. We really appreciate it.
Thanks,